Hi guys, I'm Sharon and welcome back to my channel. So today we are going to be doing a violin tutorial of Boy With Love by BTS. This tutorial is for beginners specifically, so you don't need to be able to read sheet music in order to follow along, but I will have that listed down below in the video description. If you don't know how to read sheet music, then this actually might be a good time to learn because I have all of the note names written in the sheet music and the bowings as well. And with that quick intro, let's get into the tutorial. To begin, we need to look at the key signature of Boy With Love, which is D major. So that's going to be two sharps, F sharp and C sharp. Let's identify where on the viola our F sharps and our C sharps are going to be. F sharp is going to be high 2 on the D string. And I believe that's the only F sharp that we're going to be using here. And then for C sharp, that is going to be high 3 on the G string and high 2 on the A string. So it's pretty helpful to play through the D major scale before we start, just as a warm-up and also so that we can get the key and its sharps in our head. So let's play a quick D major scale. About Boy With Love is that its key signature is not too bad. It only has two sharps and it is the D major scale. The D major scale is one that a lot of beginners are familiar with as opposed to some of the other key signatures that are used in the other BTS songs. I mean, there's some with like 4 sharps or 5 sharps, 5 flats. Those are a bit more difficult, so luckily here we only have 2 sharps with Boy With Love. So if you're a beginner, then this is a great BTS song to learn. So we have 2 Bs, which is high 2 on the G string, 2 Ds, open, 2 Es, first finger on the D string, and then we have 2 F sharps, which is high 2 on the D string. And then we have F sharp, G, and then F sharp. The F sharp to the G are 16th notes, so they're very quick, and then they go to an 8th note F sharp, which is held for a bit. So we know that 2 16th notes equal 1 8th note, therefore it's going to be pretty quick. from the second finger F sharp to the third finger G, and then back to the F sharp. Now keep in mind that when you're trying to play notes really quickly, you want to make sure that all of your fingers are very close to the fingerboard. You don't want to have them too far away, like over here. If they're far away, then it's going to take more time and energy to get your finger to where it needs to be at the right time. And if you're not that experienced with 16th notes, then I would recommend starting slow, like this. And then getting faster and faster. Right, so putting the first two measures together. Now we are at the third measure, which is very similar to the first measure. There's just a couple of notes different at the end of the measure. So instead of the F sharp, we have C sharp, which is high 3 on the G string. So third measure goes like this. And then second finger B, and then C sharp. Now we are at measure 5 and 6, which are the same as measures 1 and 2. And then 7 and 8, which are the same as measures 3 and 4. So that is the instrumental introduction. Now we get into where the voices come in, and this is at the pickup to measure 9. We have an open D, and this is an 8th note, so it's really quick. And keep in mind with pickups, they're more meant to lead into the next measure, so they kind of sound like they're part of the next measure, even though they are in the measure before. So da da, so you want to make sure pickup has a sense of forward direction into the next measure. So we have pickup D, and then we have two A's, and you can either use open A here or fourth finger A. Doesn't really matter, just whatever you're comfortable with. And then two F sharps, high 2 on the D string, two E's, and then a quarter note that is tied to another quarter note, D. Now we are at measure 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. We are at the pickup to measure 11, which is a bit of a seesaw motion because you're going from F sharp to A, back to F sharp, A, F sharp, A, F sharp, A. And keep in mind that you don't want to move your arm too outrageously. It's a pretty small difference between the D string and the G string, so you don't want to go like this. Instead, you want to use your wrist more to move between the two strings. So you see I'm not going like... That's just really unnecessary and it looks silly. So don't do it. F sharp, and then A on the G string. Alright, so we have the pickup D, and then F sharp, back to F sharp, and then once more. And you want to try to keep your first finger and your second finger down the whole time throughout these two measures so that you don't have to place them down again. Now we are at measure 13. We have a pickup D again, and then A, F sharp, first finger E, and then D, B, which is second finger on the G string. And then we have the seesaw motion again. Now we have finished, I believe it's Jimin's part, so we are at V's part now, which is 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, measure 17. Has an 8th note rest, and then an up bow B. Rest, and then D, and then F sharp, quarter note of course, and then D, quarter note. Right, so that measure 17 sounds like this. Rest. And then more of the same thing for measure 18. 8th note rest, then 2, 2, open D, F sharp, and then B, which is second finger on the G string, B again, and then open D. And at measure 19, we have F sharp, and then hold out the first finger E. So here in measure 18, you can see there's a part where you go from the F sharp to the B. And here you want to try to keep your second finger down on both strings at the same time so that you're not lifting one and then moving to the next string, because the song is kind of fast and that's some extra movement that is unnecessary. If you can try to keep your second finger in the middle of both strings and not have to lift your finger up and place it down again, then it's a lot more efficient. So measure 18. And then before I place my F sharp second finger down, I'm going to place my second finger in between both the G and the D string on both F sharp and B. So you see, all I'm doing is moving my bow. I'm not really moving my left hand much. I may be moving a bit to reach the two strings, but I'm not lifting my finger up and placing it back down again. So measure 18. Now we are at measure 20, which goes C sharp, B, C sharp, B. Rest, and then B. Now, measure 21 is a repeat of measure 17. We are now at the next section, which is 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. Measure 24, and this is where Jin goes your 1, your 2. So we have 8th note rest, 2 A's, and then 2 B's. So the rhythm goes rest, your 1, your 2. So 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, now we are at measure 25. 2 B's, 2 A's, 2 F sharps, 1, open D, F sharp, 1, and then open D, E. Now we are at measure 32, which are triplets. So we have 3 beats of triplets, and a triplet is 3 8th notes in 1 beat. So for each of our triplets, we are going to have an F sharp, an E, and a D. So one triplet is this. Now we have 3 triplets, and then that is the first 3 beats of that measure. Then we have the 4th beat, which starts with a C sharp, high 3 on the G string, and then D. We have a quarter beat to pick up to measure 32, which is 8th notes D and E, and then our 3 triplets, and then 3rd finger, and then D. Which you can either do a 4th finger D or an open D there, it doesn't matter. Now we are into the chorus, which goes oh my, and that's a bunch of A's. So chorus 31, 32, 33, measure 33, middle of measure 33, we have 4 A's. Oh my. And then we have more A's. And then first finger on the G string, F sharp. Okay, so those are all the A's, 31, 32, 33. Middle of measure 33, putting it together. Alright, so now we are at measure 35, F sharp, 1, 1, then open 1, F sharp, E, first finger, again, and then open D, and then F sharp, and then C sharp twice, and then fourth finger or open D. So that is the first half of the chorus. From the middle of measure 33, let's put it all together. Now, when you're going from the upper A to the lower A, you want to be careful that you're not touching the D string that's in the middle between the A string and the G string. It's kind of challenging, but here it would be helpful if you practiced it really slowly. So if you went from A and then stop your bow, move your bow to the G string and then the lower A, and then stop your bow, move to the upper A, stop, move, stop, move. The key here is that you're not making any noise between those stops. So you're not making any noise between the lower A and the upper A. You want to make sure you stop your bow completely between the two A's. Eventually make that faster. So we are at the second half of the chorus, which is at 37. Now we are at measure 42, which is very similar to the first measure that we've covered. 2 B's, D, E, F sharp. And then there is nothing stronger. I believe that's how it goes. But it's F sharp, E, F sharp, E, F sharp, E. Right, so 41 and 42 sound like this. Now 43, very similar to measure 7. And then F sharp, E. Measure 44 is the part where Halsey goes, then a boy with love. Boy with love. I'm so bad at singing, you guys. We are now at measure 45, which 45 through the end is an exact repeat of 41 through 44. And that's it for this tutorial. The part after this is Suga's rap, which we are not covering today or probably ever, but yeah. If you want more tutorials, please feel free to request it. And if you have any feedback for how I can make these tutorials better, then be sure to let me know. I'm always open to trying to improve my videos. And that's about it. I believe the next tutorial I'll be making is Blackpink's Kill This Love, which is pretty cool because it'll be my first Blackpink violin viola tutorial. And with that, thank you so much for watching. Be sure to subscribe, like this video, and blah blah blah, the notification bell, whatever. Follow me on all my socials to stay updated on new videos that are coming out and polls where I ask questions on what kind of videos you want to see. And yeah, that's it. Bye!